Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Ultimate Guide to Conventions, a somewhat practical guide from a somewhat practical fangirl. So, conventions are amazing. You're already at one, so you know how amazing they are. But there's a lot of rules, both spoken and unspoken, that help keep them safe and fun for all. So, here's just a few pieces of advice to help keep the experience awesome for everyone. Now, that was rude of me. I have not yet introduced myself. My name is AichiYume. My human name is Amanda, but I've been a convention goer for over 10 years, a cosplayer for over 10 years, and a panelist for 8 years. I have been to conventions both large and small. I've paneled, I've been a guest of honor, I've been a cosplayer, I've been a fan, I've been a person in just jeans and a t-shirt. I've been doing this for a long time and I have a lot of experience in this space. So I'm more than happy to share some of my knowledge when it comes to convention attendance to all of you. Now, let's get this straight. These are just the musings and thoughts of one very tiny seasoned convention veteran. Nothing I say is pure canon law, and you're totally welcome to disagree with me, in the words of Oren Ishii, so long as you do so respectfully. So here's our little rule for cosplayers. Bathe. That was something that I definitely saw growing up in the convention scene, was cosplayers almost refusing to take baths and take care of their bodies. Trust me, everyone notices and everyone is aware. Just bathe. It makes you feel better. Everyone feels better. It's a whole thing. And realistically, just take care of your body. Like, the bathing is so indicative of other parts of your body that you're not taking care of. So if you're in costume, I get it. It's a pain to peel out of your wig and your shapewear and everything, but it is so important to bathe and take care of yourself. Another rule for a cosplayer: be considerate of your outfit. That means your weapons, your wings, all of it. I have been squished in so many elevators, it is not funny. Well, it's a little funny. Just be considerate. If you are one of those massive build cosplayers or you have this huge set of custom wings, just be aware. Maybe take an escalator. Maybe be willing that, this elevator ride is just going to be you. Understand when people understandably groan when it comes to that. If you don't want to deal with that, work on smaller props. I know for me, I cosplayed as the Riddler a few years ago, and instead of making a giant staff, I made one only about 3 feet. So sure, it didn't have the bang for your buck, but it was also much easier to manipulate and much easier to move around with, not to mention easier to travel with. I know this sort of goes without saying, but be nice. And I'm sure all of you already are, but as the graphic says, if you see me at a con, say hi, introduce yourself. I want to meet you. There is nothing I love more than talking to other fans. If you've seen one of my panels, come say hi to me afterwards. If you went to one of my panels earlier and you see me walking around in the dealer's room and have a question, talk to me, ask. If you see a cosplay that you like, ask that cosplayer. If you see someone like me or someone else in costume and you want to interact, do so. Just be nice. That goes without saying, I know, but it sometimes does bear repeating. Here's a little tip for non-cosplayers. Please keep in mind that cosplayers are people, which means when you go to approach them for a photo or to say that you like their outfit, we are human beings. Don't approach them when they're going into the bathroom. If they're eating, do not approach them. If they're obviously talking with friends, be polite and considerate. Wait your turn for photos. Ask for a photo. Go over any opportunities that may arise that could be difficult. For instance, poses. Ask about hand placement. Understand they may not want you in the photo and may just want a photo taken of them. We're not zoo animals. Yes, we put on a lot of makeup and a lot of effort to look good, but that does not excuse the fact that cosplayers are people. Just treat us with respect. We put on these outfits to look good because we do want attention. That's true, but that does not diminish our humanity, nor does it mean that we are not deserving of respect. If you're traveling in a group, which usually I do, so my typical group is anywhere between 2 to 4 people. I find that 3 to 4 is ideal for me. Communicate. If you have a problem, you need to tell someone. It is so much easier to deal with that than leaving someone behind, either in a physical sense or emotionally. Sometimes you're going to want to go to different panels. Sometimes you're going to want to do different things. Maybe some of your group are going to a tournament and others aren't. Communicate. We always sort of powwow together on schedules, who wants to do what. We decide, hey, we want to do dinner at this time. That way, if someone wants to take a nap back at the hotel and someone doesn't, that's okay. We have multiple cars, we figure things out, but none of that can happen without communication. There is a lot of planning that goes into it. And I know, at least for me, being someone who has anxiety and panels and paneling takes a lot of energy out of me, it is so important for me to communicate and to signpost my needs. My co-panelist is great at reading me, but he is not psychic. So it is important for me to say, hey, I'm hungry, or hey, I'm stressed out, or hey, I'm really sad and want to go back to the hotel. My needs can and will be met, but I have to say them. If you're sharing a room, which oftentimes you are, be nice and be sure to communicate. Close quarters are no fun for anyone, especially when you're cosplaying. So this is an actual photo of me packing for con. It's a lot. Cosplayers are a lot. We have multiple suitcases, we have wigs, we have a lot of things that we travel with, which means that sometimes we are not always the best bedfellows. Keep that in mind if you have more than one person cosplaying in a group and you're all sharing a room. Communicate who needs hangers, who needs to iron, who needs to do all that. I know I've been harping on communication, but it's one of the most important skills that you can have during convention time. So I get this a lot as far as a convention sort of ding is introversion, is I'm an introvert. I don't like crowds. I kind of don't like the way the internet uses the modern definition of introvert, because I'm an introvert and I'm doing all of this for you, even virtually. I do this in real life all the time. To me, being an introvert has never meant being a hermit or a hobgoblin. It just means that I don't always get a lot of power. So here's the thing. You might see a very charismatic and brass person on stage. What you don't see is the person who wraps themselves up in a blanket and goes and watches diners, drive-ins, and dives for 5 hours after it. Being an introvert does not exclude you from convention. It's just knowing what does and doesn't give you power. Sometimes that means that you can only spend a few hours at con and then you spend the rest of your day doing something else. There's nothing wrong with that. You just need to know your body and know yourself. But please don't think, oh, because I'm an introvert, that con is something that is unobtainable to me. That is patently not true. Be prepared, and more so than you think. I travel with a lot of stuff, as mentioned in one of the previous slides, but that includes a lot of material for emergencies. Safety pins, hot glue guns, fabric glue, combs, first aid kits, you'd be surprised, water, snacks, all extra battery packs, all of that. Even then, for me as a panelist, I travel with even more extra HDMI cords, multiple backups of my presentations. You never know what you will and will not have access to when it comes to being at convention. But I would essentially say pack as if you're going on a small camping trip. I like packing a first aid kit. So far, I've never really had to use it, but I know the minute that I don't, I'm going to need it. So I always stash one in there. If you have any emergency medication, also be sure to pack that. So for instance, for me, I have an emergency inhaler and an EpiPen. I pack both of those. And when you pack them, tell your group where they are. So in the morning when we're doing bags and we're getting ready to leave for convention, I show my friends, hey, this is my EpiPen. It's in this pocket. This is my inhaler. It's in this pocket. So if I'm ever in a medical emergency, they know where my medication is and they can help me. Because I have, it's from ThinkGeek. It's called the Con Bag of Holding, and it is a labyrinth. I love it. Hashtag not sponsored. But there are so many pockets. And if I was in a true medical emergency, we could lose some time trying to find my stuff in there. So I always say, hey, my EpiPen is right here. My inhaler is right here. Be more prepared than you think. It's little things like that that sometimes get lost in translation, but it's important to remind yourself of. Here's another thing. Common sense is just great. If something sounds too good, it probably is. So don't follow people you don't know back to their rooms. If someone is passing out material that you have questions about, don't do it. If at any point in time you are being coaxed into a scenario that makes you feel uncomfortable, you are in no way obligated or have to go through with it. Common sense is great. You just have to use it. But sometimes in the heat of the moment, common sense can leave you. That's one of the big reasons I travel with a group. There's nothing like having a bodyguard that basically tells you that you're wrong and you're staying right here when someone says, hey, maybe we should go up to my room or something. This graphic also very much rings true. Don't forget to drink water and get sun. You are a houseplant with emotions. Eat, drink, don't ever forget that. I know budgets can be rough during convention. I actually do a lot of cooking during con because I'm a good cook and I like my friends. So if your concern is budget or money or something like that, eat at home, cook in your hotel. Be careful. Not every convention has to be super expensive like that, but that's not an excuse to not eat. Oh my God, please take care of your body. So I don't know, man. I think it's just super important to keep mentioning that common sense matters. Like, not just in the take care of your body part, but also just in the physical sense. If something feels wrong, just don't. Again, like that's why I travel with a group. It's not just a great gut check of like, hey, I need to eat. It's also a great gut check of, hey, the situation feels sketchy as heck. If you can't travel with a group, I would say doubly use that common sense. You do not have to do anything you don't want to do. Convention is for fun and it should stay fun. That goes for all age groups. The last of the general rules is just have fun. I know for me, this is something that I've been trying to reclaim for a while. Because I'm usually working during convention, it hasn't been fun for me for a while, just between us. I've been really trying to reclaim having fun again. Convention is not meant to be drudgery, it's meant to be exciting. So if at any point in time you're not having fun, take a step back. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you need to eat. Maybe you need to rest. Don't let yourself get burned out because at the end of the day, we are all just nerds who are very excited about something. And we should never forget that. That was a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I am very, very social, and here's all the places that you can find me. If you have any questions or want to know more about the convention experience, what it means to be a panelist and cosplayer, you're welcome to reach out to me at any point in time. I have had a very, very fun time with this, and I certainly hope that you guys did too. Thanks.